Next topic, we have the Philippine National Police as the model policing system, which will be used in comparing all the policing systems in other countries. The guiding principles in policing, we have one, the principle to serve and protect. The responsibility of every police officer is to serve the public and protect life and property. So, no police operation shall be conducted in order to serve or protect the illegal activity of a particular person, group, or criminal syndicate. Number two, the principle to observe human rights and dignity of person. All PNP personnel shall respect the human rights and dignity of the suspects during police operations. Number three, the principle of use of force during the police operation. Use of excessive force is prohibited. As we all know, the excessive use of force during police operation is prohibited. However, in the lawful performance of duty, a police officer may use necessary force to accomplish his mandated task of enforcing the law and maintaining peace and order. Letter B. Issuance of verbal warning. The police officer must first issue a verbal warning before he could use force against an offender. As far as practicable, the verbal warning shall be in the dialect that is known or common to the offender or in a common dialect. Basically, the verbal warning shall consist of the following: the police officer identifying himself, his intention, and what he wants the offender to do. If the offender is a foreigner, the verbal warning shall be done in English language, followed by a demonstrative act of the police officer's intent. The verbal warning shall be done in loud and in clear manner. Non-issuance of verbal warning when excusable. So the failure to issue a verbal warning is excusable in cases where threat to life or property is already imminent and there is no other option but to use force to subdue the offender. Next, the use of non-lethal weapon. Take note that when suspect is violent or threatening and that less physical measures have been tried and deemed inappropriate, a more extreme but non-deadly measure can be used such as baton, truncheon, pepper spray, stun gun, and other non-lethal weapon to bring the suspect under control or effect an arrest. Application of necessary and reasonable force. During confrontation with an armed offender, only such necessary and reasonable force should be applied as would be sufficient to overcome the resistance put up by the offender, subdue the clear and imminent danger posed by him, or to justify the force or act under principles of self-defense, defense of relative, or defense of stranger. Next, factors to consider in the reasonableness of the force employed. That a police officer, however, is not required to afford offenders attacking him the opportunity for a fair or equal struggle. The reasonableness of the force employed will depend upon the number of aggressors, nature and characteristics of the weapon use, physical condition, size, and other circumstances to include the place and occasion of the assault. The police officer is given the sound discretion to consider these factors in employing reasonable force. Next, reasonable or responsibility of the police officer in charge of the operation. The police officer who is in charge of the operation shall at all times exercise control over all police personnel in the area of the operation and shall exhaust all possible means to apply the necessary and reasonable force to protect lives and property during armed confrontation. PNP Fundamental Principles of Policing. The ability of the police to perform their duties is dependent upon public approval. Take note that police must secure the willing cooperation of the public in the voluntary observance of the law. So the basic principle for which the police exists is to prevent crime and disorder. The police use physical force only to secure the law or to restore order. When the exercise of inducement, advice, and warning is found to be insufficient, the police seek and preserve public favor not by catering to public opinion, but by constantly demonstrating absolute unbiased service to the law. At all times, police should maintain a relationship with the public that reflects the historic tradition that the police are the public and the public are the police, with the police being only members of the public who are paid to devote their full attention to duties that are incumbent on every citizen in the interest of the community welfare and survival. Police should constantly keep their actions focused on their duties and never appear to usurp the judiciary's authority. Take note that the priority of the PNP is to avoid crime rather than to solve. The PNP's primary policing method is proactive, with reactive policing as a close second, and the PNP thinks that the public's willingness to cooperate is critical to the effectiveness of its crime prevention operations. Human dignity, due process, rules, and other rights are all important to the PNP when it comes to policing. Professional and qualified police officers of the PNP organization are the backbone of good policing. Crime prevention tries to prevent crime by implementing methods that lead to early discovery, deterrence, or denial of crime. It entails increasing police presence and implementing methods that eliminate criminal chances or means, and the PNP primary mission is to prevent crime. The PNP has developed crime prevention tactics that are sensitive to the demands of the community for public safety and security, based on the premise that law enforcement's primary goal should be prevention. The PNP policing started with traditional policing method guided by the principles of Sir Robert Peel, crime preventive or proactive approach. Its dynamism and adaptiveness to the calls of change and demands of time transform its policing into community and problem-oriented or the COP designed by virtue of Republic Act 8551. Nevertheless, the PNP has reformed its policing system into community and service-oriented policing or the CSOP through the guidelines provided by the National Police Commission number 2015-003, both approved in the year 2015. As community and service-oriented policing develops and broadens the participation of the PNP local chief executives and citizens, the PNP local chief executives and citizens are better able to serve PNP clients and the citizens or the community. The PNP CSOP or the Community and Service-Oriented Policing System component depicts a triangle approach and three institutions that will collaborate to strengthen the police local chief executives and the citizens' proactive and problem-solving approaches to crime and public safety concerns. So the PNP CSOP system component shows the approach, which includes the three institutions that shall work together to improve proactive and problem-solving approach by the police, local chief executives, and the citizenry in addressing crime and public safety concerns. To improve the police service delivery, the rules of the local police are, but not limited to, the following: collaboration with the mayors and other local chief executives and community by conducting home visits or weekly pulong-pulong meetings and other means. Next, educate the local chief executives and community or the people in the community about the CSOP system and ask for their support. Consult all stakeholders when identifying community issues. In order to solicit the support from local chief executives, here are the rules of the local chief executives. 1. Adopt effective strategies to improve collaboration. Ensure that the integrated area or community public safety plan receives assistance and support. Formulate a 3-year term-based public safety plan for peace and order. To review, revise, and approve the integrated area or community public safety plan. Call a meeting of the peace and order councils. Oversee the city or municipal POCs, data collection and analysis. Demand complete collaboration from all partners, and the CSOP programs must be funded and implemented. Facilitate the CSOP programs implementation. Determine the necessary staff for the CSOP's execution, IEC activities, collaboration with the NAPOLCOM, and lastly, perform or exercise any other responsibilities or duties that are duly permitted. To strengthen community partnership, here are the rules of the citizenry. Provide data, information, and inputs about problems, issues, and concerns to the police and the municipal officials. As a force multiplier, mobilize and organize volunteers. Third, share resources and help with the CSOP planning and execution. Projects for community development should be identified and implemented. Create a problem profile for the community. Share crime prevention advice and other public safety information with your friends and family. Begin holding frequent community meetings or dialogues. And lastly, assign a point person or focal person to report on and monitor CSOP actions. Fundraising efforts should be supported and carried out. To strengthen the community partnership, here is IDA model, which is suggested to be used. And IDA means awareness, A means awareness, I interest, D desire, and A action. Under awareness, this includes articles, advertisements, webinars or podcasts, paid search, and landing pages. So through awareness, this is to make the community knowledgeable on what programs is intended for them. For interest, okay, we have web content, newsletters, social media or blogs, and email campaigns. So to encourage them to join or to participate, okay, so we need to catch or to get their interest. Desire, through desire, okay, the use of ebooks, white papers, brochures, and microsites. So desire could only be developed if they have further knowledge on the programs intended for the community. And action includes case studies, testimonials, data sheets, and e-learnings. So action, okay, um, can be developed, or their action, or to join, or to be involved. Okay, they need to read the proof that this model or this particular program given to them is effective, or they can have a benefit on it. So the CSOP program, or the community service oriented policing framework, includes the input. Okay, input consists of the citizenry, PNP, and the local chief executives. So on its center, it includes the delivery of basic services. So the delivery of basic services considered as the connecting factor among the local chief executive, PNP, and the citizenry. So the triumvirate includes the LGU, PNP, and the community. So it needs holistic approach, or the whole of nation, meaning it should be applicable to all of the citizenry, PNP, and local chief executive. For the process, it includes identifying the problem. In identifying the problem, crimes that have impact to basic services should be considered. In making a plan, they should focus on priorities, and for mobilization, they need to have funds, logistics, personnel, and resources. In order to implement this particular plan, it needs awareness of those involved, particularly the citizenry, PNP, and the local chief executive, standards or the rules, the policy, and of course, they will launch the program. To operate, okay, this includes the community, okay. Through the community, there must be organizing, meaning it should include the rules of each of the involved members, like the citizenry, PNP, and the local chief executives. So the rules must be clear to them. Capacity building, meaning that they should be aware of their functions or rules. And reporting, um, reporting means there must be feedbacking on its process during its operation, during its implementation. After its implementation, here comes evaluation. Or to evaluate the program, there must be continuous monitoring on the different functions of the citizenry, PNP, and the local chief executives. And with that, okay, it must be measured through evaluation tool. So the result could be a basis to determine the lackings or the needed activities or programs or part of the programs that must be upgraded. And of course, here is we can develop the best practices which can be used from generation to generation. Through its output, okay, it includes the MOA, or Memorandum of Agreement, and Memorandum of Understanding. So, which is includes the POPs plan, and its outcome would be the positive police image, improve community participation, improve peace and order and public safety, and effective delivery of basic services. So the PNP Community Service-Oriented Policing is a modified and enhanced policing style based from the community-oriented policing system and problem-oriented policing. However, it is still within the umbrella of a proactive policing. So, the proper implementation of the framework would lead to the attainment of positive police image, improvements of community relations, peace and order, and public safety and effective delivery of basic services are some of its expected outputs. We also have Republic Act number 11200, an act providing for the rank classification in the Philippine National Police, amending for the purpose Section 20 of Republic Act number 6975 as amended, otherwise known as the Department of the Interior and Local Government Act of 1990. The Philippine National Police is under the supervision and control of the Department of Interior and Local Government. So we have the new PNP ranks. For commission officers, it includes the highest ranks, the Police General, followed by Police Lieutenant General, Police Major General, Police Brigadier General, Police Colonel, Police Lieutenant Colonel, Police Major, Police Captain, and Police Lieutenant. For non-commission, we have Police Executive Master Sergeant as the highest rank, followed by Police Chief Master Sergeant, Police Senior Master Sergeant, Police Master Sergeant, Police Staff Sergeant, Police Corporal, and lastly, Patrolman or Patrol Woman. The PNP shall be headed by a chief with the rank of Director General who shall be assisted by two deputy chiefs, one for administration who happens to be the second in command, and one for operation who is third in command with the rank of Deputy Director General. So the head of the directorial staff with the rank of Deputy Director General is known as the Chief of Directorial Staff of the PNP. The PNP organizational structure is composed of a national office, regional office, provincial offices, district offices, and city or municipal offices. The initial component of the PNP. As we all know, the PNP is formerly known as the Integrated National Police. So we have the former members of the INP, the commission officers and enlisted personnel of the Philippine Constabulary, members of the Inspection, Investigation, Intelligence branch of the NAPOLCOM, civilian operatives of the CIS. The PNP absorbed the office function or officer function of the following: the National Action Committee on Anti-Hijacking Security or the NACA, which is formerly under the DND. All the functions of the Philippine Air Force Security Command or the PAPSECOM, and police function of the Philippine Coast Guard or the PCG. The PNP consists of 17 regional offices nationwide, which correspond to the regional subdivisions of the country. 17 regional public safety battalions or the RPSB, 80 police provincial offices, which correspond to the number of provinces in the country, and 20 city police offices in highly urbanized and independent cities. Thank you for watching this video. If you have any question, you can post your questions in our FB page.